Ruth Dugdall. I'm a crime author. I've got 3 books published at the moment and another 2 to follow in the coming few months. The writers that I really like and the books that I read again and again are books that look at interesting situations, challenging situations, but in a multi-layered way. So for example, at the moment I'm reading Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood, and I've probably read it about 30 times. I actually know the sentences that are coming, but I still love it. And when I'm reading it, I'm still hooked because it's got so many layers to it, and I find something new every time. Another author I really like, Lolita, because I think that book takes a really controversial subject, child abuse, from the point of view of the paedophile, but actually does it in a really clever way that people think it's a love story and then they see something more sinister is going on. And again, I think you can reread that book and get things from it every time. I like Donna Tartt a lot, and I've said it before, but Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects is for me a perfect crime novel, and I think that's pretty unbeatable. For me, the research is really important. I think that for me the novel has to be authentic. People have to believe in it. I'm asking them to suspend their disbelief over certain things, so I need to be able to take them along with the majority of the information I'm giving. So I research actually I use my own life a lot. So for example, at the moment I'm living in Luxembourg, so I'm writing a novel set in Luxembourg. So I'll write about places I've been, environments that I know well, prison settings, because I used to work in a prison and I still do visit a prison. So things that I've come across, and even if I'm writing about a situation that's new to me, I'll be using feelings that either I've felt or that I know people who have, and things that I can connect to. So a lot of my research is actually living what I'm writing about. Chuck Palahniuk called it method writing, and I think that's pretty much what I like to do. But I also need to get the facts right of whatever I'm working on. My Luxembourg book looks at illegal immigration into Luxembourg, so I've had to research that side of Luxembourg life, where these people come from, how they travel, how they pay for their passage, where they live, how they support themselves. And so that's taken me to a whole different world that I wasn't previously aware of. So I really love doing the research. It's a pleasure to do, but it's also very time consuming, which you know, I really throw myself into it, and it can take me a long time, months or years. So Kate Austen is my probation officer, and she appears in the next 2 books, Humber Boy B and Nowhere Girl. And the reason I've stayed with Kate is because she's a probation officer, which is the career that I had before I resigned to be a full-time writer. And people were telling me that they wanted to see more of her personality, more of her story. So I've really been able to take it forward in those 2 books, and we find out more about her relationship with her parents and her sister. And this has been something that I didn't anticipate that I would do. I thought I'd finished with Kate, but actually I'm really enjoying finding out more about her. So at least the next 2, beyond that I don't know. I'll see what the reader's response is. When I'm writing a novel, the world of the novel becomes really real for me, and I find it intrudes on my normal life. So for example, I can be with my children, like I was a few months back, and I was in an aquarium, and I found that I was watching their reaction to the fish, but thinking about the character I'm writing about in Humber Boy B, who works in an aquarium, and I was thinking about things that he would say about these fish. So what my children were actually saying to me became Ben's narrative in Humber Boy B. And I'm afraid that I do that a lot. When I'm in any situation, I can often hear something and think, God, that's good, I'm going to use that. This week, somebody in Luxembourg said to me that he had to take the hair from his face because he didn't know the word shave. And I thought that was just such a brilliant sentence. And I'm definitely going to use that somewhere in Nowhere Girl. At the moment, I'd have to say travel. I'm living in Luxembourg, so the centre of Europe. So we're doing a lot of travel into France, Germany, Belgium. And the places that I'm choosing to visit are places that have usually got some kind of story or history to them. And also, the places where we're walking are, a lot of the German places are where the fairy tales came from, the Brothers Grimm fairy tales. So real forests and quite spooky, and you can imagine getting lost there. And I think that the experience of doing all this travel is really helping me to change as a writer and giving me new things to write about. So it's something I'm really enjoying, and it's something that I hadn't previously done. I'd only ever written about Suffolk, and my hobbies were limited to walking around Suffolk. So now I feel I'm much broader.